Hello everyone, we are group 10 and we are gonna present on the partitioning clustering, which is the k-means clustering algorithm. I am Jaswant Tripurneni and initially I am gonna give an intro on the cluster analysis. So what is clustering? So clustering is a task of dividing the data points into a number of groups where the data points in a single group will have the similar characteristics, and when you compare a data point of one group to the other group, the characteristics will be dissimilar to each other. So when doing cluster analysis, initially what we do is we partition the set of data into groups based on the similarity of the data and then assign the labels to these groups. And clustering is an unsupervised learning method. Now, as you can see in this example, we have three groups of clusters. When you see the data points, the red data points, the characteristics of the red data points will be similar when compared to the same red data points in the group, but when compared to the black or green, they will have dissimilar characteristics. Now coming to the applications of clustering. So the clustering is mainly used in the market and customer segmentation. So the market segmentation is nothing but the process of splitting the target market into smaller and more defined categories. So the companies could actually target a group of audience based on the characteristics each of these audience have. And the other application are search results. When you search for a particular topic in Google, all the similar results which were searched before will be grouped together and will be displayed to a user. And clustering is also used in medical imaging analysis and also fraud detection. In the fraud detection, it is mainly used to find the outliers, which is nothing but the fraud that happens during the transactions. And it is also used in the identification of cancer cells in the human body, and it is also used in the biological data analysis. In the biological data analysis, clustering helps in extracting the useful information from large data sets collected in biology and other life sciences. Now, the requirements of a clustering algorithm. So the clustering algorithm should be highly scalable in order to deal with the large databases or the data sets which we use, and it should be able to deal with various kinds of attributes, so in a way that the algorithm can be applied on any kind of data, such as the numerical data, the binary data, and also the categorical data. And it should have high dimensionality, so that it is not able to handle only the low dimensional data but also handles the high dimensional data. And the clustering algorithm must deal with all kind of noisy data, missing data, or erroneous data in the data set. And the clustering algorithm must be interpretable and usable and also comprehensible. So what is not cluster analysis here? So when you take the results of a particular query, it just retrieves the information what we are asking for. So the information you already asked is already known there. It is already labeled data. But cluster is unsupervised learning technique. So the results of a query doesn't come under cluster analysis. So when you take on the association analysis, In this analysis, we actually find the associations amongst the items in large databases. But when it comes to clustering, it is actually identifying the similarities within the data points. So association analysis that doesn't come under cluster analysis. And when you take supervised classification, the name itself says it deals with the label data. But in the cluster analysis, the label will be given to the data only after making into different clusters, organizing them, and then after doing all these things, we assign the labels. So supervised classification also doesn't come under cluster analysis. And when you take the simple segmentation, so segmenting is the process of arranging the data points into groups based on the similarities. But in the clustering process, we find similarities on the data points which can be grouped, and then we segment. So simple segmentation doesn't come under cluster analysis. So when you come to the types of clustering, we have two types, mainly the partitioning clustering and the hierarchical clustering. So the partitioning clustering is the division of data points into non-overlapping subsets such that each object is placed in exactly one subset. So when you take the example of this partitioning thing, so you can see this is one subset, the red points, and the green are the other subset. So there is no overlapping between these two. But when it comes to the hierarchical clustering, it is a set of nested clusters organized as in the form of a hierarchical tree here. So when you see here, when you consider the violet, red, green data points, the green data points are grouped as a separate the cluster, but when you take the red and violet, they're grouped into similar. So again, this cluster is subdivided into two different clusters based on the hierarchical clustering. Thank you.